best man.
All right, so we're here. And I've been ready for about an hour and a half, so let's go. D'abord, pour nos amis français, je suis désolé en avance pour parler exclusivement en anglais, mais je suis sûr que vos voisins là peuvent traduire chaque mot.
Excusez, parlez-vous anglais s'il vous plaît?
It's going to be a similar message to the Scots.
Oh yeah!
I also want to apologise for anybody at the wedding who doesn't understand anything this half of the table's been saying. I can't translate either. You've got a role coming up, John. Until then, shut it. Right. I first want to offer my personal and heartfelt congratulations to the stars of today, our new married couple, Jules and Lynsey. Lyns, you were mesmerising today, and not just when compared to Jules. Truly stunning. Equally paramount is an acknowledgement of Anna's wonderful, authoritative and delicate command. I think in retrospect, the entirely appropriate and impeccably timed Scottish weather made for a more intimate and special, unique event for all of us. So thanks for making great memories for all of us. Thank you very much. I know I speak on behalf of Jules and Lynsey because they told me to say this. They were enormously grateful of your steady and trusted hand today, and you know, they don't have Jody McVeekie here to conduct the ceremony, so you're number 2 as well. Okay, so given the apparent confusion, I want to clear up a few things about why I'm standing here. As history demonstrates... No, Dave, just a horn. Except I don't charge. As history demonstrates, Jules has been mining Scotland for friends and suitors for 2 decades. Presumably in the belief that we're less discriminating north of the border. Having secured marital commitment from a beautiful Scots lass by entrapping her in the most remote and perilous peak of this continent, he then approached a shorter, hairier Scot of Chinese ancestry to be his best man. Jody, always quick on his feet, concocted a vague but convincing story about test pilot school in California. Jules bought it hook, line and sinker, and presumably failing to convince anyone else, approached me, knowing that I'm vulnerable when cornered. So this is only conjecture on my part, but I suspect the real reason Jody turned Jules down for this role stems from a conversation he overheard years ago that embitters him to this day. Wait for the details. Believe it or not, it gets funnier. Having deflected advances from both Jody and Jules one evening when visiting me in New York, a girl was overheard weighing their comparative merits in great technical detail to another friend within earshot of Jody. I'm told it went something like this. So, should I go for Jody or Jules? I mean... You're going to need to let me get through this. I've got a transcript here. That's pretty good. That detail will be evident. I mean, they both have their qualities, with flaws in equal measure. But, she explained, on the one hand, Jules is taller, and therefore more likely to be well endowed. I know it's disputable. But, on the other hand, Jody is a better dancer, and so probably knows how to use his body. Then there's their chat. I mean, Jody is witty and sharp, But Jules is so engaging and charming. He makes you feel like the only girl in the room. No, these are not my words. And I'm sure they're not Lynsey's either.
That's a true story.
Also, from a practical standpoint, Jules has his own queenside bed tonight. Jody, being smaller, is in a bunk. So the logistics favor Jules. Then there's the fact that Jody is a fast jet pilot, which must mean he has quick reactions and takes control. But then Jules jumps out of planes, which is kind of badass and brave. And apparently, according to Jules, he's a war hero. He's done like 6 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, whereas Jody's never seen real combat. Jules. So it's like my patriotic duty to sleep with him. After all, he's protecting my freedom, the same freedom that I'm using to choose him tonight. It is poetry, I choose Jules. I'm really glad that phase is over.
So am I.
Well, that was
Considering it was totally made up.
And although he's not here to defend himself, I'm told that upon hearing this narrative, Jody began weeping into his pint and has resented Jules ever since. It is widely suspected that this is why Jody sought revenge when on holiday in Croatia, putting his name down for the karaoke in front of an audience mostly composed of thuggish locals whose cars the pair had attempted to steal that evening. Jules then staggered reluctantly up to the microphone and mustered, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. And it got worse.
They ain't no shirt on either.
Despite... Try to keep this PG on your instrument. Despite the unorthodox performance, this being Croatia, it was one of the best performances they'd ever heard. So, Jules being carried around on people's shoulders, Jody's attempt at revenge had clearly been thwarted. And so here we are. I therefore address you this evening in the capacity as Best Man Bravo. In my first and hopefully last role in this capacity. I hope to get through life never having to do this. I mean, a personal confession, like many fun-loving people, I try and avoid being friends with married people or people that are likely to become married. And I thought, and based on observations of his conduct since he was 17, I thought I was pretty safe for Jules. But when a girl of Lynsey's quality experiences a momentary lapse in judgment and commits herself to you for life, you snap at it, don't you? All right. So I want to congratulate Jules, actually, on finding such a rare breed. The odds against finding a Scottish woman who is both gorgeous and likes English men is clearly remote. And I'm sure I'm not the only Scot here that finds it hard to tolerate the pilfering of our precious natural resources, finite as they are. But this is no ordinary Englishman. In fact, on the basis of his childhood academic performance alone, one might conclude that Jules is truly special. He's certainly special to me. He is among the most thoughtful and considerate people I know. That part wasn't a joke. I mean, how many straight men in their 20s and 30s can say that they receive regular, old-fashioned written correspondence from an ostensibly heterosexual military man?
Hear, hear.
I can say that.
Can you?
I can say that. Jules sends me handwritten postcards and personal notes of provocative, salacious content from across the world. And were it not for the impeccable, dare I say, effeminate handwriting, the language in these missives might appear coarse. it turns out that accounts of sordid adventures and unspeakable acts decorated with colourful expletives sounds like Chaucer when it's written in girly handwriting. But this calligraphy, his overuse of vanity products, and apparent admiration for the masculine form he keeps looking at me, are just a few of the things that make Jules a misunderstood, complicated, and man of contradiction. I mean, how can he at once be a highly respected Royal Air Force officer, commanding battalions, wielding heavy weaponry with deft control and to devastating effect? Again, Jules' language. Withstanding the cruel and harrowing realities of modern warfare, only to return to his camp and choke on an onion. He's allergic to this.
Got the onions, by the way.
It doesn't stop there, though. He's precious in many other respects. Now, God, there's a long way to go here. There's a lot. I mean, consider the national security risk here. I mean, if our enemies knew that the men responsible for securing the realm could be levelled with nothing more than a little onion powder and pasta sauce, Britain would surely be overrun with Arabs. Oh wait.
We are.
It's the only off-colour joke. Or on-colour. Alright. Now,
Oh, mate. Hammy like that one.
fortunately you only have white friends. I think oh my god. That was improv.
Yeah, no shit.
It was part. Now, I think so based on his allergies alone, now that I think about it, perhaps there may have been a more appropriate 2-year posting for somebody that's allergic to cheese, onion and garlic bread in France. You could have thought that through. Lynsey, again, you look beautiful today. I'm sure preparing for your big day can be arduous, but consider for a moment the endless hours that Jules has spent in front of the mirror today. I mean, show some compassion. I'm told he fired at least 3 makeup artists before compromising and borrowing Hammy's fake tan, which worked out just as well. Jules' mum assures me, however, that his passion for makeup and manscaping may stem from his days as a prodigious child thespian. That's thespian with a TH. Performing puppet shows with a sock on each hand for anyone that would watch. These performances yielded glittering reviews from such balanced and objective observers as his loving parents, which has clearly gone to his head. He remains a diva to this day. But seriously, Jules is a hero. And if you doubt that, just ask him. While as a lowly civilian myself, I've never been in combat, but I know from his own account of these heroics that this is the man I would want beside me in battle. If the battle in question was pitted us against a bunch of yapping wounded poodles, which Jules can hit from a range of up to 10 feet. A final note before I go, to all the wedding photographers, amateur and otherwise. In the event that you find yourself fretting over the content of your negatives when the same West Country schwad appears in the background of the developing pictures, this is no fault of your own. As Jules' colleagues can assure you, the groom has a unique ability to monopolise camera exposure. And I'm sure I speak for all of us here in saying I'm thrilled and happy for both of you. And I wish you a long and adventurous and loving marriage. Jules, a particular congratulations to you. I think it's clear you've outdone yourself, you've done extremely well. And I'm thrilled for you. But, on the other hand, you'll never be Mikey Case, you might as well shoot yourself.
Oh.
As a closer, I've got a poem here from Robert Burns' less successful brother, Archie Burns. Jules handpicked it and he asked me to read it, so here I go. A union of hearts is aye a good day, when one has the courage the other to say, on God's green earth there's nane other for me, and so I stand here with official decree, and tak your horn, but never let go, and cry through the glens, so the world will know. Nae words or sweet prose, just to ease this sweet rose. If this day were for me, I'd want one of those.
Well done.
Cheers, right through.